Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio is brought to you by AnglersChoice.ca, the Angler's Choice in handmade soft plastics. Also presented to you by Handlebars Musky Lures, Zing the Bling, Frantic Big Game Baits, Keith's Trophy Fishing, Fish NV Guide Service, and Husky Musky Leaders. You're listening to Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio. All right, folks, welcome to Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio. My next guest is none other than Steve Wagner of Salus Marine Wear out of Waterloo, Ontario. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ben. You're welcome.
So, what got you into personal flotation device? What stirred you into that end of the fishing industry?
Well, it started with going back a few years, designing hockey equipment for Cooper, Bauer, Nike. I did that for 15 years, and then worked for another company called Boy Oh Boy,
Mm-hmm.
12, and they soon closed their doors and were bought by another company out east.
Yeah. I think it was Mustang.
Yeah, actually,
Survival wear.
On the East Coast, it was Helly Hansen.
Helly Hansen, yes.
Yep, Mustang on the West Coast.
Yes, that's right.
Helly Hansen on the East Coast.
There we go. I've been corrected.
No worries. I mean, it was one or the other, so you had a 50-50 chance. And so, after being there for about a year, I saw a need for more comfortable, more stylish, better fitting PFDs, and so I left there and started it was a basement startup,
Mm-hmm.
actually. And that was 14 years ago.
Yep.
Today we have 35 employees.
That's fantastic. So your grassroots mom and pop shop from the basement of your home into a 35 person production company. That's fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you have some awards. Safety product for 2006, the Canadian Safe Boating Award. That's pretty impressive in such a short period of time.
Yeah, we pride ourselves in making PFDs that, with a point of difference,
Mm-hmm.
and they're more consumer driven instead of manufacturing driven.
Yeah.
With that in mind, it's made for the person wanting to wear it, and it's not simply a $39 PFD that will keep you afloat. It's a piece of equipment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one that is well worn by those that do purchase it. They love it. They wear it. They don't even feel that they have it on half the time.
Yeah.
The impetus behind what it is that we do is to make PFDs that people want to wear.
Mm-hmm.
And that was essentially the award that we received, was for innovation in the design of PFDs.
Fantastic. I had an opportunity to actually see one of your products at a muskie meeting earlier in the year when one of our local, in Waterloo here, one of our local shops, you supply flotation suits for ice fishing, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So, do you cater towards the private retailer, or are you into larger box stores and whatnot?
We cater to the independent retailer, and it's not only through the product itself is a little higher end. It has some features in it that usually take somebody on the floor to
Mm-hmm.
to sell the features, to explain them, a little bit more technical, and the price also dictates more of an independent line that we sell, and that gives the independent dealers something to differentiate themselves from the big box stores that are typically a little less expensive and whatnot. Now, having said this, we do have some of our suits in Canadian Tire.
Okay, yeah.
They, after several years of saying no to them, we selected a few that we're making for Canadian Tire, and they're doing quite well in their major fishing and outdoor stores.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So you're into a major Canadian store, and for those of you who are listening, you can log on to salusmarine.com, and it's not just the PDF. I see PDF all over because you have a PDF catalog. PFDs. It's also for the industry outside of fishing as well. Like we have, I see you do rescue equipment and whatnot.
That's right.
Now, are you commissioned by a sector of the Canadian industry to build these suits and vests, or do they just purchase directly?
They're purchased directly. We do receive some government orders. We've done some for the military. We've done contracts for the Canadian Coast Guard. We've also supplied the Canadian National Sailing Team and the Canadian Whitewater Kayaking Team. It's funny. We have our hand in different venues, and that's what makes our job somewhat interesting. And we live vicariously through all those different sports that we cater to.
So, Salus, where did you come up with the name? Where did the name come from?
The name means safety in Latin.
Oh, wow. Is that impressive?
Yeah. And
that.
There's a few other derivatives of that. Salut.
Yep.
Cheers to your health, or salutation.
Mm-hmm.
They all came from the same Latin derivatives.
Salus. That's absolutely neat. Love it.
Great.
So what?
And it's hard to show you a picture over the phone or over the radio.
Yeah.
I can talk 20 minutes on any one of our products.
Well, let's talk about the suits, I guess.
Okay.
Now we have my question was, because I wasn't too keen on what I was seeing, but are all your suits, are they flotation suits? Like you have your Pro Light, Comfort Light, your Endurance Class, your Formula 16, your Odyssey, and your Antigua jackets. Now, are all of them or some of them flotation survival suits?
They're all flotation survival suits, all certified PFDs.
Fantastic.
So they're all Transport Canada approved vests. And the idea of a flotation suit is one that it's also it acts as rain gear. Mm-hmm. It acts as a PFD, and it acts as warmth in the early spring, late fall, or winter.
Absolutely. That's the time that I suggest people the most to wear them is during the spring, of course out ice fishing, and in the fall. Just because, wind plays a big role out there on the water, and if you don't have a life jacket on, at least wear a survival suit. That way, if you get a rogue wave that tosses you into the water, you're safe.
Yep. And you know what? And it's not a topic that a lot of people want to talk about, but sadly, on average, there's about 300 people that drowned in Canada. And it's not a statistic or news that people hear quite often because the news is fairly local. It doesn't become national news if somebody drowns. Mm-hmm. It's a large disaster.
Yeah.
And about half of those are boating related, and half of those are pools, backyard pools, hot tubs, beaches, and whatnot. But the other half are boating related.
Wow, that's incredible.
Pardon?
That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's a number that's pretty staggering. A lot of those drownings do happen in the winter, late fall, or early spring when the waters are colder. And when somebody falls overboard, it's not the same as falling into 70-degree water.
No.
You start to gasp for air. Your motor skills are gone. You can't swim. You And without a PFD, you'd be hard-pressed to survive in that kind of cold water more than 10 minutes. And it's not through hypothermia, it's through what they call the cold water shock.
Yeah, it's the shock to the system that you just can't recover from quick enough.
Exactly. And it's quite a phenomenon. So at least if you have a PFD on, not a survival suit, you're good for, in the coldest of waters, you're good for at least 45 minutes.
Treading water.
With the 45 minutes, you can usually find yourself to safety or have someone to rescue. The thing with late fall and early spring, especially for fishermen, when they're up in these northern lakes, there's not as many cottagers in these lakes.
Yeah, they've shut down late August, early September, and have come home, or have gone to their winter haunt out of the country.
Exactly. And so if you do get in trouble, there's not as many people around to save you. The landmarks are not as prevalent because a lot of the cottage lights aren't there anymore, and the coupled by the fact that the waters are colder, so your degrees of danger start to escalate in those times of year. So it's very important that fishermen have a PFD on. You just have to turn to the OPP reports on the amount of fishermen that have drowned. Fairly innocent occurrences, and it's pretty heartbreaking, some of these stories when you hear them.
Absolutely. Myself, I'm familiar with the Salus brand. My son's first PFD is one of your models for children.
Oh, okay, great.
And I still have the picture of it. And if you go online, you can see it for the infants. And it's very important because even when you want to take them in a pool, I notice that this style of PFD allows a child's head to be well above the surface of the water. The bijou vests.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about those, because a lot of us have small children that we like to take out with us, and they have a great size class. I know that much for 9 to 25 pounds. Like, he lived in that for over a year.
So it's we have two models for the children. One is the bijou, which is made for babies.
Yeah.
And we won a CASBA award for that as well, the Canadian Safe Boating Award.
Yes, I see that. Yep.
For the best safe boating product launch that year. And then we have the Nimbus, which has an infant size, child size, and youth size.
Yeah.
The nice thing with these, the Nimbus or the bijou, they're made with soft foam.
Yeah.
And quite important for any children because they're often wearing them for longer than anybody. If you're, a lot of parents, if they have their children within 50 feet of the water line, they're having them put them on. And when the child is comfortable and not complaining to want to take it off, parents are often more comfortable and happier too that their child isn't crying or saying, "Mom, take this off of me."
Yeah.
So a lot of parents sometimes think that you might be thinking that you're buying it for your child, but in the end, you know what? You're buying peace of mind for yourself too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Having a vest that's comfortable is going to be one that they're going to want to wear.
Yeah, exactly. When we go fishing now, I tell them, put your cool coat on, and I put mine on. And the style that I have is I guess you could say it's like a paddle vest.
Okay. Yeah.
It zips off on one side. I guess it's like a kayaker style. So I put mine on, he puts his on, and as long as Dad's wearing his, he knows it's okay, and it's important. Yeah. So, and if I don't put it on, he's quick to remind me, "Dad, put your life jacket on." So, and he's only 4, so he's learned.
I mean, we have to lead by example.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how to avoid tragedy, too.
Yeah. And what was something that really resonates with a lot of fathers is, they realize that, yes, they can swim, and maybe they don't think they need a PFD, but the thought of their child growing up without a father is kind of scary to a lot of fathers.
Absolutely.
So one thing I want to say is that not all PFDs are the same.
No.
And whether you're fishing or, as you mentioned, kayaking, there's a PFD for every sport. And if you buy a proper one, it's going to be comfortable. It's not going to be riding up, hitting you in the chin or chafing you in the arms. It's going to be very comfortable. And, you buy one that's fitted properly for your sport with some quality. You don't even know you have it on. And with that, you're going to be more inclined to wear it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, your shop your operation is here in Waterloo, Ontario. Now, do you have a showroom where somebody, say, like myself, could come and be fitted for an outdoor PFD for my style of enthusiast or enthusiasm in the outdoors, whether it be kayaking or fishing or sailing? Is there a storefront that people can stop in and get checked?
We do have a bit of it is a production facility, and we're very happy to show anybody where the vests are made and show them the models that we have. However, we do have some very good dealers in the area, in the Waterloo area, that we'd be more inclined to direct them to.
Well, if you want to give a plug out, now's your chance. So for all those folks in Waterloo
Rainbow
that
Sports
listen,
is a great outfit.
Rainbow Sports, Chad.
In Waterloo, the top end of Waterloo on King Street. And if he doesn't have it, it's only 5 minutes away. We're very close to Rainbow Sports.
Perfect.
Yep.
Excellent.
A great little outfit. And you mentioned the wood shop. You weren't far off. We're a small company. Compared to the other guys, we're pretty small. So you're correct in calling us a shop.
Well, and I don't mean any insult or at all, but compared to the bigger guys, you guys still put out a quality product, being on a smaller scale.
Thank you.
So that's hats off to you, because I think it's important that we as Canadians support our local industry, especially when it's in your own backyard. So.
Yep. And we keep it pretty real. I'm the owner of the company, and every Monday night you find me loading the garbage, or if we have a container of material coming in, I'm one of the guys or one of the hands, unloading the truck, and all hands on deck and throwing the muscle in behind getting the work done. So we're a pretty small operation. We're not big by any stretch of the imagination, but everyone within our organization is pretty proud of what we do. We're not the size of some of the other guys. That's for sure.
Well, and you know what? If you're putting out a quality product, you don't have to be, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, thanks.
Folks, my special guest, Cooper's away this week fishing, but he'll be back next week, so stay tuned for more of The Rant with Cooper Gallant, right here on Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio. Steve, thank you very much for being my guest. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and I look forward to taking a tour of the operation.
Thanks, Ben. Very much appreciate it.
Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio is brought to you by AnglersChoice.ca, the Angler's Choice in handmade soft plastics. Also presented to you by Handlebars Musky Lures, Zing the Bling, Frantic Big Game Baits, Keith's Trophy Fishing, Fish NV Guide Service, and Husky Musky Leaders. You're listening to Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio. Alright folks, welcome to Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio. My special guest this evening is retired NHL right-wing superstar Owen Nolan. Owen, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Owen, it's great to have this opportunity to talk to you. For the listeners out there, Owen Nolan's gold medalist for Canada national team, I believe, and he's also played for Toronto Maple Leafs, Quebec Nordiques, and he's turned himself into this extreme outdoors enthusiast, haven't you, Owen?
I've always enjoyed it since I was a kid, so it was a pretty easy transition once I retired.
Well, I read somewhere that you've been fishing for 35 years. Now, you're only a year older than I am. So, as soon as you could walk, you were fishing?
Yeah, I started pretty young, probably 6, 7 years old, and, back then it was probably a couple times a year, but as you got older, it became a weekly thing, and it hasn't left.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike.
Absolutely.
Did you get a lot of time in your hockey career to get out and wet a line or go hunting?
Well, it depends where you were. Obviously playing in Canada, you maybe got out a few times to do some ice fishing. If you were in some warmer climates like California, there's more opportunities to get out because it doesn't snow here. So the bass fishing is pretty good, and you have the ocean right here, so you get a little deep sea fishing in. So it was a nice mix.
Nice. So the 360 Sportsman 360 TV, you work alongside friend Nick Pujic in that project, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and you and Nick get along pretty good?
Absolutely, great guy.
I've got a couple fan questions, if you don't mind. One of my fans and one of your fans, Cody Brooks from Thorold, Ontario, wants to know, how does a guy born in Ireland, raised in St. Catharines, become an NHL star forward and retire to a life of hunting and fishing in Cali? And when can I go fishing with you?
Well, I guess it's all opportunity. My parents moved me here when I was young, so I really didn't have a say in that. And in fact, I grew up playing soccer and baseball, and it wasn't until I was 9 years old I got my first pair of skates. And once I hit the ice, I really fell in love with the game. I've always played street hockey growing up, but never on the ice. And I took to the game real well, and was very fortunate enough to climb the ladder real quick and make it to the NHL.
That's fantastic. So, fishing. Let's talk your favorite species. What's your favorite species of fish to go after?
I just enjoy fishing every which way. Fly fishing, deep sea fishing, freshwater fishing. It's really tough to pick one. I'm leaving actually tomorrow for BC. I'm going to do some sturgeon fishing. I've never caught one. It's on the bucket list. So
nice.
Hopefully I can check that off and do a little salmon fishing while I'm up there.
Fantastic. And for the hunting, being out in the West Coast and parts of Western Canada, I'm sure you've had your pick of the litter for hunting.
Yeah, out here it's there's a lot of black-tailed deer. There's no whitetails, but there's a lot of hogs, and hog hunting can be a lot of fun. They are vicious when they get cornered or feel like they're cornered. They'll charge you. I've taken a few with a rifle, but the more challenging thing is trying to take them with a bow. And I've been fortunate enough to get a couple with the bow, but it gets pretty intense because, obviously you're getting a lot closer with the bow, and you just don't know what these things are going to do, whether they're going to go 100 miles the other direction or straight at you. So it's pretty intense.
So how did Sportsman 360 come about, and where did you come up with the name?
Well, I've always wanted to do a show, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do just hunting or I was going to do just fishing. I really enjoyed doing both, so I figured I'd mix it up and do them both. Where the 360 came in is basically that. We're going to do everything. We're going to try everything. Some things I've done several times, like bass fishing, salmon fishing. Some things I'm going to do for the first time, like ghost sturgeon fishing or maybe moose hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Change it up. I don't come across as a professional in the field. I'm certainly well-rounded. I've been in a lot of opportunities to hunt and fish, so I do have some knowledge of the outdoors, but it's more or less getting out and trying new things and doing it with your buddies. It's not always about catching the biggest fish or, the trophy animal. It's about getting outdoors and enjoying it with your friends, enjoying the whole experience.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, Owen. I know for myself, time's limited, as you know yourself too, with having a family. So when I do get out on the water, even if I don't catch a fish, I still got out and enjoyed my time on the water.
Absolutely.
Leo and Ron, Fish TV. How do we know those gentlemen?
Well, I met Ron several years ago at a bass tournament, and we hit it off. And I think it was years in between before we ran into each other again. He was part of Fish TV where I met Leo. And they asked me to come on to be a guest on the show. And, we did a show. And they liked the way I came off on camera and asked me to be a part-time, full-time host on the show. Mm-hmm. And really enjoyed it. And, I really have to thank those guys because they gave me the behind the scenes of how to run a show and have fun with it, and really inspired me to do my own.
Well, I had the opportunity to interview Leo at the 65th Sportsman Show anniversary, and he's quite the character. I enjoyed talking to him, and Ron as well. They're great guys, and they're definitely an asset to the Canadian sport fishing industry.
Yes, without a doubt. I got along great with them. They're good friends still. I just don't get to see them as much as I would like to. Them living on the other side of Toronto and me living in California, our paths don't pass as much as they used to, but try and stay in touch as much as possible.
Now, you've joined forces with National Pro Staff, correct?
Yes.
And how is it working for you? Has that helped in getting your name out in the industry, or?
I think so. Yeah, you can never have enough recognition or people helping you get the word out that your show's out there. I think they do a great job of promoting things. We're very well organized, so I'm happy to be a part of it.
Fantastic. And it's for the Sportsman 360 as the team, correct?
Yes.
All right. So, folks, if you're a listener of Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio and you've signed up to National Pro Staff, you can follow along Team Sportsman 360 TV on NPS. And if you're in the industry and you want to take off and get better recognized in your field, there's no better way to do that than building a profile on nationalprostaff.com. All right, so with your hockey career, 18 years, what was your favorite team to play for in your 18 years?
Well, that's a lot tougher to answer than you would think. Every team had its pros and cons. They all offered different things. And to tell you the truth, I enjoyed playing at each place I went to.
Well, there you go. There you have it, folks. Is there anything you can give our listeners, novice anglers or sports enthusiasts, any tips?
In what field would you like to?
Well, say for young guys starting out in hockey.
Starting out in hockey. First thing is you have to enjoy the game. if you're not enjoying it, you're probably in the wrong place to begin with. You have to enjoy anything you do, whether it's the industry you work in or playing a sport. You've got to love what you want to do. You can't approach it as work. It's got to be there. For me, hockey was a great time. Hang out with the guys, have some laughs. Obviously, it became a business as I got older, but you've got to just hang in there, be dedicated to it, and put your best effort in. We all know that some people give it their heart, but it's just not in the cards. But you've just got to have drive and determination, and a lot of guys make it on that.
And that's what I've told people too, in regards to fishing. There's people that are in the same field that I do, with the promotion ends and whatnot, and I just tell them stick with it. Eventually, you'll hit pay dirt, and you'll get noticed, and you'll build a following, and you'll be part of the solution.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've all been out there, few days in a row where we haven't caught fish or caught, very few fish. If we backed it in on those experiences alone, we'd never really find out if we were good at it or not. We've had plenty of good days, but it's those rough days that you got to just keep sticking with it and find the patterns and dig your way out of it and have fun with it.
That's right. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, weather. When you're in an arena, it's a controlled climate. How have you adapted to some of the extreme conditions in fishing and hunting?
Weather's just nature's curveball, and you have to deal with it. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Everyone would have success. It's just some of those things. You plan your day to go fishing, and anything short of a lightning storm or tornado, you're not going out. But you're going to go out there and give it your all and deal with the conditions and try and find patterns to catch fish.
So BC, or not BC? Yeah, you said you're going out to BC, and that's for Springs, Cohos, Chinooks, and sturgeon. I can't wait. And that's going to be on, you're filming, of course, right?
Yes.
And that'll be airing when?
Well, this is part of season 2, so.
Perfect. And Sportsman 360 TV can be seen on, is it Wild?
Wild TV, yeah.
Wild TV. And that's a Canadian company. Do you have any Canadian sponsors that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I wish I had some Canadian sponsors.
Okay, there you go, Canada.
It's still early, but I'm knocking on doors, trying to show them a good product and showing maybe not necessarily the professional, but like I said before, I am well-rounded in the outfield. I'd like to have fun with it, and I just think it's a different approach on my show.
Well, I enjoy watching it whenever I have time to catch it, and you are on the ice, off the ice, an asset to the outdoor community. You're a big conservationist. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I had 1,200 acres here in San Jose, and I was approached by the Nature Conservancy group. They had a 15,000 acre parcel on one side of me and a 5,000 acre observatory on the other side of me. And my parcel kind of attached to both of them, and they wanted to make one huge park for bike riding, hikers, all kinds of stuff. And I felt at the time that I had my fun up there with all my hunting and some fishing up there, so I think it was time to move on, and I thought it would be a great asset for them to combine the whole thing.
Wow. Any charity work alongside of that?
Right now I'm doing charity work with the San Jose Sharks Foundation. They do several things. So I just finished a 53.1 mile bike ride. They kicked my backside, but it was all to raise money for the foundation, and a lot of people participated in it. It was a great turnout.
Awesome. Any upcoming events that our listeners in the area could take part in?
There's nothing coming up in the next month or two, but I'm sure I can get it listed on Facebook, whatever is coming up in the next book.
Perfect. Folks, my special guest, Owen Nolan, retired NHL star right wing and outdoor enthusiast at large with Sportsman 360 TV. You can catch it on Wild TV. And Owen, thank you very much for taking time to be on Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio. I truly appreciate it. It's been an honor.
Not a problem. Anytime.
Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio is brought to you by AnglersChoice.ca, the Angler's Choice in handmade soft plastics. Also presented to you by Handlebars Musky Lures, Zing the Bling, Frantic Big Game Baits, Keith's Trophy Fishing, Fish NV Guide Service, and Husky Musky Leaders. You're listening to Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio.